saw the movie 1917. The setting is World War I, and it takes a very specific task. 2 soldiers are sent on a mission to deliver orders to another. Let's just say I have no, I'm not a soldier. So I might use some terms incorrectly.
I'm a soldier, but I'm a no-limit soldier, like Master P. So it's a little different.
They're sent to give orders to another regiment, troop, another group of
a battalion
in a different place, and they have to cross enemy lines.
The Potomac,
if I understand it correctly. Anyway, it's very specific. If you saw the trailers for this, you know that it was filmed visually was stunning, and it was released limited release Christmas Day. Wide release.
So they could get on that awards. On those
weekend.
Awards, it won the Golden Globe for Best Picture.
It won a Golden Globe for Best Picture, as far as we can tell. When I looked that up, it was a little confusing to me, because so did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But
that was comedy and a musical.
I don't get how that's a comedy or a musical. Anyway, 1917, that's what it's all about. Kelsey, go, wait, or skip?
Yeah, I think definitely go see this movie. I was really impressed with this. The filmmaker's decisions and how they filmed the movie. It's basically shot as one long, continuous camera shot, which I really thought was done well. The story was awesome. I didn't ever find myself bored. That era, World War I, in fact, both of those great world wars, World War I and World War II, show a lot of heroic things and a lot of beautiful things and a lot of tragic things. And I thought this was just a really, really great movie.
I'm also going to say go see this movie. I'm really interested to see how the rest of award season will play out for this movie. Visually, just really stunning. Like Kelsey said, it was filmed as if it was one long continuous shot. And so the majority of the movie, it feels like real time. So it was really kind of I felt like I had an excitement deep in my chest, where I was intrigued for the entire 2 hours, because it almost felt like I was there because of the real-time aspect of the movie. The score was really excellent. The acting was really good. It was a small story, right? A small story that happened. But even in small stories, for individual people, there is greatness and virtue to be built and all of this stuff. So the movie did an excellent job displaying all of that.
Spoilers!
So the movie does appear, it appeared to me...
Well, it's a prequel to World War II.
it was 2, long continuous shots. There's one scene in the movie where it goes black, and I was like, oh, that's right where an edit could be. It was I looked it up afterwards, and it's a series of long continuous shots. The director, Sam Mendes, didn't go into specifics about how they did it. He said that he wanted people to enjoy the film and not be looking for cuts and edits, because it's not often that movies are filmed in this way.
Yeah.
They might have a scene that's a long, a 10-minute scene, but to have the whole movie be a series of long continuous shots like this, it was really well done.
Oh, I mean, that's what we do here. It's a big deal.
True. I'll link the review that I read that shared this information, but just they had to be, so essentially they had to run rehearsals prior to filming. And
yeah, you said it was like a play.
Like a play, because you had to know everything that you were going to do, because if you did something too fast, too slow, if you messed up, you had to start all over with the shot again. And so not only was that important for the people with speaking parts, to use theater terms, also all the extras were very important in this movie.
They were the best extras money could buy.
I mean, there was one scene where the camera comes around and then it has to go up through soldiers that are sitting in the grass back to our protagonist. And I was like, wow, it's so awesome, because I know that the camera is huge, right? And it's coming up, you're sitting there as an actor and it's coming up, but you have to act as if the camera's not there, as it seamlessly moves through the crowd.
Yeah.
And each soldier has to have kind of a different personality. Some are so intrigued, interested and engaged in what's going on, and others are kind of tired, and they have to keep that. Anyway, It was really good.
I'm also super impressed with Sam Mendes, the director, especially because he made maybe the worst James Bond movie ever. Is what you said that he
Right,
made.
like the review like listed other things that he's done, and I was like, Spectre.
I loved the James Bond movies. I grew up watching them, despite their many, weird little parts. But listen, Spectre was terrible, and it looked like it should have been good.
Yeah. And maybe it wasn't like his fault. Maybe there was something else there. Definitely, I heard comments that what's his face, Daniel Craig, didn't give that his best go.
Yeah, but it was the story and everything else in them. It wasn't Daniel Craig that was the problem in that movie. So I'm really impressed that he could put this together. I think maybe it has to do because he created this film, this art, by using stories that his grandfather had told him. So sometimes when we love something, when we bring love into something, it helps us create the best thing that we can. I've seen that in my own work as a writer. I write about combat sports. If you don't know, now you do. But whenever I can tap into that love or that admiration, that good feeling for a fighter or something like that, I could really get the best work out of myself. So I hope he keeps doing it.
Yeah, and that was this was one of the many stories he said that his grandfather would share about the war when they would go visit him. He said that his grandfather seldom told stories about grand heroics, but more about like smaller events, and that's what this story was. But as it unfolded, I felt like there was like heroicism, like in several of the like just choices that the characters made, because their task, although small, was really like grand in the what they had to do to cross, like go to the front lines, cross into what was called no man's land, into the enemy's front lines, and then travel like through. It was really, really good. I feel like the overall theme for the movie was like threading together like beauty and sorrow, and the film did a really excellent job because war is really, really awful, and I thought they did a good job showing just how hard that is. I haven't heard a lot of war stories and stuff, so it helps me to see movies to know what soldiers really go through and have been through. Mel Gibson had a movie where he did a great job. It was about the guy that wouldn't carry weapons. I can't remember the name of the movie, but that also did a really good job of just showing what war is. And this movie did the same thing, but it also brought in that there's always like beauty, and that it reminded me, because that's kind of how life is, right? Life is full of beauty and sorrow. So at one point, both soldiers are like walking across, and they come across like these cherry blossom trees that have been hacked down. The beauty of the trees, while they're also like walking through like a worn-torn country, that really struck me. There was a point where he's floating in the river, and the cherry blossoms are on the water, and the story makeup is that he's thinking about his fellow soldier who's now died by this point, and the story he had told about the cherry blossoms. But then he ends up, like, when he has to get out of the river, he's crawling through a bunch of dead bodies. And just that juxtaposition of, like, beauty and tragedy was apparent throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, it also captured really well how life works in general, and that sometimes things just seem like random chance. And I thought it wove that through the movie excellently as well. Just a really excellent, beautiful, smart film, and I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, me too. It was really just a
can't wait to 1918.
Beautiful movie to watch, and I don't know, I guess it was nice to go to the movies and see like the characters, and especially the main character. Like, it was admirable, like the way he lived those like set of hours. It was really, really admirable. And it was nice to be edified in that way. We recently saw a movie that wasn't so much like that, and that was Uncut Gems, where we left feeling kind of like, oh.
Well, it was informative.
It was like, I think it's good to have both, this movie in particular, it was nice to see this. Thanks for watching Rachelsey at the Movies, and if you could, take a moment to just like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done that, and talk to us about the movie.